Supposedly grown, supposedly grown, supposedly grown, supposedly grown. Supposedly grown.
So I had an idea of something I wanted to talk about. I figured it'd be pretty funny and interesting. Obviously, with the lady in the group, it gives us another perspective because me and my guy friend only know of the guy's point of view. So I figured we can talk about something that seems pretty common now, especially with technology and dating apps and everything like that. I figured wiener pictures would be a good subject to talk about.
That's
Gross.
always a good subject to talk about, I think.
Ugh. I am anti dick pic.
Is there
Like,
a
I feel like you can never take a good one. You know?
That is true, and it just makes the situation that much more worse.
yeah, I don't
Because
think
you're sitting there
there's
trying to take a good one, you know?
Like, and I thought about this. I thought about this a little bit earlier today. So, like, you know how people take like weight loss pictures, but they're holding a newspaper with them to show like the start date or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, do you take the picture of your wiener like next to something because you want to be
Who
like, yeah, I'm bigger
like
than
a
the
have
proof.
you
iPhone
seen
10. What's
have
up?
you seen Euphoria?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh, yeah. He
Show on
pulled up a remote like a cable
okay,
remote.
I don't know. She had this whole thing, but she was talking about that. Like you
You
look
need
at
a
what's near it so you can see like a size reference.
yeah. You need a point of
Oh, so that
reference.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. I didn't know that was a thing. Wow.
See, so that's a pretty interesting thing, right? So I'm married, obviously. I didn't have to go through the whole having to send wee wee pictures out. So I'm not really familiar with how you should angle it, what you should put next to it, what type of lighting you should use, what kind of effects, because I know there are effects on Instagram. So I would
All of
assume.
that is ridiculous.
Like, do you add an effect to your wiener? Like, do you put like cat ears on it or something?
Ooh, I think
Oh
that'd
my
be.
god.
I think that's a
Like
better.
at that point in time, can you hashtag already got pussy? Bam.
Oh, that's a good one. I think that would probably be the only acceptable reason to send one of those to my. That would be a chuckle.
See, I think
Like
that's a good
that would
that's a
be
good way
okay.
to go
So
at it. To be funny about it,
exactly,
right?
like, is that like the perfect icebreaker? Like, hey, about to send this dick pic, but I'm also gonna get a laugh out of it, so it keeps me in the game. You
You
know?
know, you,
Okay, I think at first initial reaction is like, oh my god, you chuckle. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you doing? Seeing your like
Yeah. You're totally
this?
confused at that moment.
Yeah, even that then you lose me.
They Houdini'd you with the wiener pic.
Mm,
Yeah, and then once
Yeah.
you think about it for a second, you're like, wait a minute, what a
that's
fucking
true.
waste.
You secretly
Like
looked at.
after that 4 hour conversation that you just had with that guy, where you were like, yeah, ha ha ha, that was really funny, and then you hang up and you're like, wait a minute,
I just
that
Yeah,
looked
was
at
a
his
dick
wiener.
pic. Hmm.
Is that a good thing? Like you already know what it looks like, right? So you're not surprised when it comes out in person.
do not. There's no acceptable reason to send you a dick pic.
Like it's your interview. Like,
Yeah,
here you
yeah,
go.
yeah. Here's my reference. Now you know.
Yeah.
Like
This is my
you
list of
start off.
references.
You start off from the start. Hey man, it's not getting any better. It's not getting any worse. It is what it is. So don't be surprised.
It can't get
Um,
no worse than this.
Mhm.
I mean, at that point, yeah, you might as well just.
So there is another thing too, right? Obviously, if you ask for a wiener picture, that's one thing. But like from stories I've heard, it just seems like they just pop up randomly. Like that's how you start a conversation is, hey, here's my wiener. What you think?
Yeah, that's literally the last time I got one from totally unexpected. Can I send you a picture? And I'm like, yeah, it's early in the morning. I'm not thinking. 45 minutes later, it's a dick on my phone, multiple pictures. And I said, eye close emoji, throw up face, stop. And then he said, well, this is what happens when I think about you. And I literally threw up in my mouth. Like,
Oh,
what do you expect to come from that? Like, why do you do that? Why? Why would you do that?
Like, but let me ask you this: prior to that,
Nope.
was this fella on a good track? Like,
No, he is a married man in his mid
wow.
Oh, it's just mid 40s. There's
oh
never
man.
been any flirting, no hanging out, no
You know what
that.
the funny thing is he probably had old man balls too. So you had to
Okay,
see the wiener and the balls.
talk about someone else's. And the angle was super close up. It was just awful. It was
You
awful.
could see through all the veins.
All
Yeah,
the
buddy.
He was a Caucasian man, and I've never really seen one like that before. And I was like, what the fuck?
Now I've seen a lot of wieners in my day, being in
Okay.
locker rooms and
Right.
such. And there's never been a wiener that I've seen and been like, man, that'd be a good wiener to take a picture of. So I'd be kind of hesitant at taking a wiener picture and sending it out just off the sheer fact that they're not very attractive.
No, that's the problem. They're not at all. They're creepy looking.
Yeah, they're not very nice looking. Like you don't see a wiener and you don't think, man, I'd like to snuggle up next to that thing.
Like, hey, that's a really nice dick. Like, you never think that.
Well, no,
No.
I've thought that, but it's not
Oh,
like, man, that's a cute wiener.
like I want a teddy bear out of that
Yeah,
wiener. I want that as a
yeah.
stuffed animal.
Like
Yeah,
I would love that
exactly.
sewn on my teddy bear to snuggle up at night. I see a wiener and I'm like, man, that thing probably smells. It's probably sweaty. It's probably been through some stuff.
Like, he's like, hey, girl, check me out after the gym. And you're like, yeah, go take a shower, nasty ass. Like, that's gross.
And the fact that it took him 40 minutes to come up with some pictures means that he thought it through. So the pictures he sent, those were the grade A pictures, right? Those weren't the throwaways. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Like, those are the ones where he took like 15 or 16 of them, but he was like, not this
So-
one, not this one. This is
so
good.
just think about that. He had some worse ones than that. And then
No, I don't want to think about it.
And then another thing is, all right, so what angle do you go at? Do you go from the bottom and show bottom top, or do you go top to bottom and then do you go side view? Like it's a weird thing, right? I don't know. There's no
Yeah.
good angle of a wiener.
Nope. I think if you, mm,
Now I do think there is some acceptable times to send a wiener picture. Like I could send a picture to my guy friends because I think it'd be funny.
guys are so. I would never send like your wife a picture of my privates and be like, haha, look at this. That's so weird.
It's not that
But
weird.
would you, like, okay, say guy friend, girl, whatever, and they're like, hey, I got this weird hair. Is this a hair? You want to check this out? Like, is
Nah,
that something?
I would just send it to a guy just to be like, "Hi, you see my wiener? Now you're my bitch."
Guys are so strange.
But
I can see
also,
that.
I think all my friends have pretty much seen me naked, so there's not much to reveal.
Multiple times.
Yeah, they've seen front and back, so they kind of know the landscape already.
They know what you're working
Yeah,
with.
so like at that point in time, it would just be weird. Like, why are you sending us a picture of your wiener? It's not funny no more. We've all seen it.
That's true. I think it's always kind of funny though.
Nope. Super weird. Why are you doing that?
Pat, you're not gonna look at a wiener and be like, "Man, that's kind of." You're gonna chuckle a little bit, right?
I'm gonna look at it and be like, well, first, let me make sure who messaged me. This might be a wrong number. This might be for the lady of our group. It's a white wiener.
Well, if I'm sending you a white wiener, that might be kind of weird, just in general.
Like,
Yeah. Like,
just red pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. That wouldn't add up. You should ask me some questions like, why do you have a white wiener picture
Yeah,
on
so
your
I'm thinking
phone?
like, hey, where'd you get this dick from?
But a funny thing is I do have some experience with that. Well, not with that, but I have heard a
What?
story. I've heard a story of that happening. So have a sibling who has group messages with his parents on certain extracurricular teams and such. Yeah, and he was at work, and they were trying to mess with another guy from work, and they were asking for a certain picture while he was off work. So they decided to mess with him, and he googled wiener pictures, and it was a white wiener that pulled up that he sent off, but he accidentally sent it in the group message of parents. So
No.
and it was a Caucasian's wiener, so it didn't really add up. Needless to say, he's not able to coach anymore.
That is awful. Oh my god.
Wow.
Mortifying.
I think it's hilarious.
It
I
is.
kind of feel
but
bad
at
for
the same
this, but
time,
I
oh my
also feel
God.
like that's hilarious.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I would die. Oh my gosh.
I would hate to be the parent that received that picture.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
you got some guy sending you pictures of junk and you know it's not his. So is he doing what he's looking at my little kids? Does he like little kids?
I don't think it was
I mean,
it wasn't little kid junk. It was old
But
man white
That's
people
just where
junk.
my mind would go. I would just go 0 to 100.
That's true. That's true.
but do you ask that guy, like, hey, what's wrong with your wiener? Like, I know this isn't you. Or
Hey,
do you have a medical condition?
Yeah. Do you got impetigo on your wiener? Do you have
Like,
a skin
You need to
condition?
go outside. You need to get some sun.
Yeah. Let's
And
let's
maybe
get
a little hand lotion on that. That's a little weird.
some vitamin D on that D.
Yeah. Like
And
that.
that's
That's why I like it. Nice.
So at work, we have this product called, it has letters MLD. And so one day I call the guys. I'm like, hey, your D is good. And they just kind of pause. He's like, your D50 is K-Dot. It's good.
So that's probably something they still laugh about now.
Which part?
But-
Your D is good. That's probably posted somewhere, so I'd watch out.
But let me ask you this though. Like, does it make a difference if it's just one of them big old forearm wieners? You know what I'm talking about? Like them,
That's
like
yeah. If
size 14.
if it's a penis worth taking a picture of, is that change the whole story of it? Like, is it like, okay?
Yeah. Then if it's like super, I'm not looking at it like, oh, that baby. I'm looking at like, holy shit, and I'm sending that to all my friends.
Yeah, if you
Like,
ever,
but are you sending it with the intentions of saying, about to get this? Like, or are you sending it saying, whoa?
Are you saying this is my next Mount Everest? I'm tackling this hoe.
I don't know. I just know I probably wouldn't even think about that. I'm just like, Ford, all my friends, look at this shit.
Next one of those you get,
Like,
forward
And then
that to me.
he's like, check this out. Puts the ruler beside it, and he's like,
Ooh, yeah.
conquered the ruler. You know what I mean? Like, homeboy is on point.
Like he's got that real solid reference, and it's real. Like it's like legitimate.
But
Like, it's not a salami from the meat market. It's for real.
then I'd probably be like, hell no. And like, that's too much. I'm still sending it to my friends. But
All your friends are gonna be like, you better ride on that horse.
I feel though, if you're a guy with that you have the right to just send that to everyone you know,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
that's
everyone. I feel like you should just be like, here you go.
Like I would wear super tight pants that didn't really go down to my knee. You would see the outline.
Like
I would just constantly be showing that thing off.
So I have a coworker, or had a coworker. She would ask the guys at work, like, "Hey, can I see your phone to call my daughter because I don't have any service?" And they're guys, they're shivers. Like, "Oh, here, really what she would go do is look through their pictures.
To
And
see if-
they all had dick pics, all of them. And she would try to come show him, like, ew, that's gross. Well, one guy has a picture of his wife giving him some head. He found out and he goes to me, he's like, well, did you want to see? And I'm like, what? Nothing to be ashamed of. And he also wears super tight pants and just walks around like he knows he has a big thing and he does not care who knows it either. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to see that. He's like, what? It's what friends do. What? What? Yes, he did not hesitate. He was like, well, did you want to see? Hell no. Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Those aren't my type of friends. I don't think that's what we do.
No, that's so weird. But
Like I've known you for a pretty good amount of time, and I don't just walk up to you and be like, hey man, want to see this junk? What's up? That's what good friends do. Like,
yeah.
that's not a thing, right? Have we been doing
like
this
to-
friendship thing all wrong? Now question that.
I think so. I don't think we're good enough friends. We need to start doing that more often.
Like I feel strongly on like if we really want to be best friends, here you go.
Exactly. I think we just got to start coming up to each other and be like, hey guy, you want to see it or what? I've
Slap giraffe necks or what's up?
yeah. Let's go to war. Let's have some real fun.
But okay, so for the married person of the group, like you've never done that from what it sounds like, but is that, I guess that from what you just said is that he has picture of his wife giving him head, like
Yeah.
you don't just randomly send that shit to your wife like, oh yeah,
No.
man, I know you're at the doctor's office, but I'm thinking of you. Here you go. From a port, like you don't send that shit from a porta john. That's gross. Like
You know what?
Wait,
You know what I?
time out. You don't have to be single to send dick pics. Y'all can send them to y'all's ladies.
I believe
like,
North
I'm not
Korea.
gonna step into the porta john and send it. Like I'm not gonna. That's gross.
You're not gonna what?
Step into some restroom and be like, hey, I'm at work right now thinking of you. Like that's not my thing. That's gross. People poop in there.
I mean, that's true. I'm just saying, because some of these guys that at my job that my friend was looking at, they're married and they still have the dick pics in their phone. So y'all can send them too. I wonder, I'm trying to think of oh goodness.
Yeah.
What what your wife would say.
My wife is a little different, so she would probably think that there was a medical reason I was sending my wiener to her.
She'd go on WebMD and be like, oh yeah, we need to get you checked up.
She'd be like, "Oh shit, is that an ingrown hair, or do you have a spot that you want me to look at?" Like she wouldn't.
I already know.
I don't
Right
think
after
she would.
Snapchat. She's hitting me up on Snapchat.
I don't think she would. She would necessarily straight go to sexual ideas. She would just be like, "Oh man, is something wrong? Did you get it caught in something?"
She's crazy, so I can only imagine what the hell she would think.
But I don't think I would ever do that because I don't know. There's just like I would think that, all right, what if this picture got out? I'm paranoid like that. I think the North Koreans are always watching us, constantly going through our cloud, and maybe they see my brown wiener and they want to know. They want to know about it. They're like, man, we got nothing but yellow wieners. Let's take a look at this brown wiener.
You're just yours. Your exact one.
My exact one. Yeah, I'm real paranoid like that. So, me personally, I'm not sending pics like that.
Okay. I still think you should just to see the reaction. I think it would be hilarious.
I think there would be a reaction, but it wouldn't be good for me.
Oh, she gets mad. Yeah. I don't care. It's so funny.
I'd be like, your friend told me to do it, so I had to.
That's like, just tell her I told you to do it. What the fuck?
No, but all right. So, is there ever a good time to send one of those pictures? Like, I don't
Well,
think.
there's some girls who are super into it. So, or if you're like, you're going sexting back and forth and trading pics, okay. Because some people are super into that.
But is there any real like satisfaction from sexting? Like, I don't feel like that's
No, it's weird.
like there's
I
there's
think
no
it's really
there's
awkward.
no there's no end to it,
Yeah.
right? Like you don't there's no like there's
What's
no
the point?
insatisfaction to it. Like that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, I guess that could lead, like, if you're in a dating situation or you're not to the point to where you're having sexual intercourse, I guess it could lead to that.
Because if I that shit, I'm saying I'm lying. Like I'm sitting here over here eating ice cream, watching fucking Stranger Things and talking shit. Like, like it's a lie.
That's another interesting thing. Do single guys just have those like on deck? Like, because I wouldn't assume you're taking pics every time a girl asks for them, right? Like you're like you got one picture,
Like
and
holding on
that's
to are you holding on to your glamour shots real quick or what?
right. We're taking it back to like eighth grade, and you've got that one glamour shot that's the beast, and you got that in
Yeah,
the
and you got the
holster.
one that look great.
Yeah, you got it in the holster, and you're ready to go. Every time you see a girl you want to get with, you throw it out there.
Mm-mm.
Right? So single guys are just walking.
I thought about that too. Like, what if you're just there and you get like a cooter pic right there, boom, it just shows up on your phone. You're like, what the hell? Like I'm at work. I don't want no cooter pic.
No,
You wouldn't take a
not.
cooter pic?
Hey, I'm thinking about you. Can't wait to get home tonight.
Well, sometimes, like, if the angle's
Okay, you
wrong,
better be thinking about just screen damn whatever. I ain't trying to get no cooter pic. I'm at work. What if I'm in a meeting and it pops up?
Ooh, you shouldn't be on your
Ooh.
phone in this meeting.
It's true. But if
And
that,
that we got out of this. Not the fact that there's a cooter on my phone, but I shouldn't
I,
have my phone on me.
Paying attention.
I
I
think,
need to be a good employee and keep my phone over there, not with me.
I think I know you pretty well, so I would assume you probably got multiple cooter pics on your phone at some point.
Don't you question what I do.
Yeah, I would assume that your phone is probably filled with cooter pics.
No.
But I think guys look at it differently as far as like a
Like
female
they see
sending.
it as like an award or like
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Like I don't think I'd want a cooter pic. Like I'd rather see a nipple.
You rather boobies?
Yeah. Like I'd rather see a nipple rather than a cooter. Cause like you take a cooter pic the wrong angle, I don't know what the hell it is. That could be anything.
Yeah, that could go bad as well. You're right.
That can be my dog laying out in the yard. I don't know what it is. So you got
Boobies are definitely
You
more
gotta
attractive.
squint your eyes and turn it to the left just a little bit to be able to tell.
exactly. If it's one of those pictures that you got to squint at to see what it is, it's not a good picture. So I don't
Say,
want.
oh, did you buy some abstract art? Is that what you just bought?
Oh, did you buy a pack of ham that we're gonna eat tonight? I appreciate it.
I love ham sandwiches.
Oh
You know
man,
me so well.
you know what? I was really in the mood for some roast beef. Thank you, ma'am.
I would never eat him again.
That's
Next time you get a sandwich from Subway, you're gonna look at it wrong. I promise.
Yeah, them little ends of the ham are gonna be hanging out the end of the sandwich, and you're like, oh my goodness.
It happens to me every time.
But I think I just couldn't imagine being a single person and having to send one of those pictures because like there's no good angle, and I feel like whether it's a good picture or a bad picture, that picture's getting passed around, right? Like girls.
Well, see,
Yeah.
the other shitty part about it is like, what if she, guy and girl been talking for a while, girl is like, hey, send me a picture of your wiener, like, She asked for it. Now the guy's all hyped up, like, oh man, I can't sound like a bitch because I don't want to be like, no, I'm not gonna send you one. And she's like, hey, you send me a picture of your wiener, I'll send you a picture of my boobs, and then you send the picture, and come to find out she's hanging out with all her friends and she shows it to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, like damn.
So does that
And then you get no poop pic.
does that happen? The female in our group?
For sure.
See, girls are mean.
Girls are mean.
Sneaky little sneak.
But I
Or
will.
they'll
Unless homeboy has just got a mammoth. If he's just got a woolly mammoth trunk on him, then it's like, oh, then all the girls in the group want him. What's up?
Then he's
Huh.
like, yeah, girl.
Backfired.
I feel like the
Or they're all-
the best thing to do is just Google wiener pictures and find the biggest one and just have that in that holster as yours.
Oh, fuck no. Because then you do that, and then the girl's like, oh, hell yeah. And do y'all ever, like, it gets to that point where y'all are really about to have sex, and then it's not what the picture was? Oh, my gosh.
All right.
It was the picture that made it look really good.
Well, no. Let me say this though. How often are you just like face to face with a wiener where you can compare it to the picture though?
Oh, well, if you're sitting like a mammoth with like a little snake, you could tell.
Is there? I don't know. I've never taken wiener, so I wouldn't know. But I would assume that a wiener is a wiener. That's just my assumption.
Agreed.
Wait, what you say? Wiener is a wiener?
Wiener is a wiener. Well, obviously there's some exceptions to the rule,
A lot of exceptions.
If you're rocking the micro penis, obviously there will be some telltale signs.
And then there's like different shapes and stuff.
But like, unless you're like face up with it, can you really tell the difference? Like if you're just, pitch black, you're just getting in, getting out. Are you really going to be able to tell the angle of the dangle? Or is it just kind of a guessing game?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I feel like girls, the expectation, if they were to see something like that, they set that bar and they're like, oh man, it's gonna be like this, and I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be great, or whatever. And then they sit and they're like, oh, it's whatever, because then at that point they've put their expectations too high. It's like when you go to buy something on Amazon that you think is really great, and then when it comes to you, it's kind of shitty. I mean, you've already got it there. You're gonna give it a shot, but it's still shitty.
I've done that with socks multiple times.
Like, did you put the socks on and we're like, man, these are kind of shitty, but you wore them just for that one time?
So I've been on both sides, right? Like I've gotten super small socks and I'm like, God damn it, my foot doesn't fit. And then I've gotten really big socks and I'm like, these motherfuckers are up to my knees and I can't wear them out. So I've never found just the right socks. I've never found the Goldilocks of socks. But I'm on the look.
I wish you.
I'll send you sock pics. That's what I'll do.
Ooh, I love you.
I send sock pics.
A lot of sock pics.
I'm not I can edit that out, but I'm not into feet, so please don't send me any toes or anything like that, because toes are gross.
Nah.
Feet are gross.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that like a week ago. Oh, there was a perfect meme I could have saved.
We also have another friend that doesn't like belly buttons. So anytime y'all get a belly button pic, send that in the group message.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
I'll let y'all know later on who that particular
I'm just gonna
person
send
is.
it. And whoever gets
It's true, because most people just open their messages without thinking.
I'll send sock pics and belly button pics from now on.
So
feet and belly buttons.
So also another question I had. So my buddy, my male counterpart over there, you were single for a little bit, right? And you did the whole dating app thing.
Right.
So is there how do I word this question to not sound like an asshole? Is there ever a girl that seemed like she was willing and open to a wiener picture?
Oh no, I had actually, and I mean this, I had been asked a couple of times for that. Like there's like she said, there's girls out there who are 100% down and want that picture. And they're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm looking for a good time. La da da da. Send me a picture of your wiener." Like 100% out there.
So there are girls out there asking for this particular thing, but based off of just like, because in dating apps they have profile pics, right? Like they have the
Right.
general information. So do you know just from that, like, hey, this girl, because I'm just trying to figure out like how a guy, like without talking to a girl, without communicating at all, like he's just like, hey man, this is my first communication with you. Here's this picture. What do you think?
Well, so on those dating apps, the way that they work, you set the age range in which you're looking for. So it's like 21 to 30, or you can do like, 28 to whatever, right? So you would be surprised on how, well, I mean, I guess you wouldn't at this case. It's like a lot of the people that ask for that are like the single retiree women who are just straight up. Yeah, I mean, they're done. They're in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, and they're like, I'm not trying to do nothing but swing and bang. What's up?
Well, all right.
So like the same lady that's in your church group on Sunday could be the same lady that's asking for them wang wangs. Yep.
Oh, I doubt it.
Yep.
Luckily, I'm not a part of a church, so I wouldn't know about that.
Same lady that's making a shake at the steak shake. There you go.
I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to steak and shake.
Well, good for you.
I got kicked out of there years ago.
It was actually for trying to take a dick pic in the restroom, right? Yep.
I was trying to use the ice cream machine as a reference. Apparently they didn't appreciate it, and I didn't like the looks I got, so I walked out. I also tried going back with a mustache. They didn't let me in.
Damn, so convincing.
Yeah.
I'll say that also on there. Yeah, and I don't know why this is a thing either. Everybody has their own fetish or whatever, but some of these ladies will ask for the oddest, weirdest things, like take picture or will you take a picture of this, like your wiener, but cup your nuts, and it's like, what?
Oh my
Oh, wow.
goodness. That's
It's very. I'm telling you, the world is crazy.
the world is crazy. I'm glad I got married a long time ago and I didn't have to go through this.
Lucky you.
But I will say this. I kind of want to create a dating profile as a female just to get wiener pictures
Huh.
Why?
because I feel like that would be a hilarious thing to do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't want to see weird wieners. I've been used to seeing one for the past 20 some years. Maybe I should just stick with that.
Yeah, I just thought about this. You know what else is weird? Is when the girl messages you and she's like, "Hey, I'm married. Send me a picture of your dick if you're down. Me and my husband are looking for something tonight." Like,
Oh, is he? Did you get the offer to be with a cuckler? Is that what it was?
is that a thing? Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cuckling.
funny thing is, I knew that girl. She didn't know who I was, but I knew who she was. I'm like, ew, hell no, go away.
Like,
and
then,
you've
'cause
never
if you set your distance, you can set your distance on there. So it's like, oh, well, let's see what's going on within the last, in these 10 miles of this little county or whatever. And it comes up some of these people, and then you see them in public.
you're out
You're
there
like,
you're out there buying avocados, and you're like, hey, you wanted me to cuckold your wife.
Yeah, like, hey, wait a minute. You're over here at Popeyes, but you wanted to give me a Blumpkin. Like, hold up.
Hey, what you can do is you can use that to get that spicy chicken sandwich before them.
Damn, I still ain't had that shit. Damn.
Yeah, I haven't had that bullshit either.
me either.
I still think Chick-fil-A sandwich is above everything else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's always on point.
That's why I haven't even thought about going to Popeyes. What
Oh
for?
no, I've tried.
There you go.
I've tried going to Popeyes, but I seen the bullshit sign made out of Crayola, so I didn't go inside.
Oh, ours has over here. Mine, there's never really a line anymore.
So for a size reference, if I would have ever sent a dick pic, I could have just took it beside Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's guaranteed I'm getting that. Like,
Guaranteed.
You know what you should
Like,
do? You should put it between the buns.
the
Okay.
buns, but
On that note, I'm
Yeah,
going to bed. Y'all are weird.
Is it weird
that's how
or
you get in. That's how you get
Y'all
in right there.
doing way too much.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you're really that desperate, you go get you one with no pickles,
Oh
put it
my
right
God.
there, and bada bam.
bam? You got the flesh colored pickle now.
Yeah.
You about to get more than this Chick-fil-A sauce. I know that.
Oh, okay.
You get that
I'ma
special
get
special
Hollow
sauce.
knees on that. Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right, bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
All right, sir.
So she getting some dick pics right now. That's
Oh,
why.
You know, I feel like as a single female, if you're on any dating app, whether it's Christian Mingle or Farmers Only or whatever else, Plenty of Fish, I feel like you're just constantly berated with wiener pictures. Like that's just kind of like I feel like in the warning labels, as you're signing up, like oh your identity might be stolen. On the bottom it's like, hey, if you're a female, get ready. You're gonna see all sorts of wieners.
Like that should be a disclaimer.
Well, I feel like it is because I feel like that happens so often.
Like the one girl that found that guy. Like, oh man, I found the perfect guy. Before that perfect guy, there was at least 30 dick pics.
Well, no, but here's the interesting thing though. Was the perfect guy the one
dick
that
pic?
sent, yeah, was he the one that sent the perfect wiener? Like his was that
Like-
one in particular. It was perfectly groomed. There's no warts. There's no, off marks. There's
It
no
wasn't
moles.
too big. It wasn't small.
Yeah.
The head wasn't this crazy mushroom. Like,
You don't have like a fucking 90-degree angle curve in it, It's like the perfect wiener. And she's like, man, you
Yeah.
know what? I could see myself having babies with this wiener.
let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and trap this wiener real quick.
Yeah. Let me lock this wiener down and throw a silicone ring so he can go to work.
Exactly. And what really happened was he thought, oh man, I got this really nice girl. She's great. I can't wait for her to meet my family and la da 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 da. But before him, she was testing out some wiener pics.
Oh yeah, she was like she was putting the references next to her hands, like a guy would throw a Coca-Cola bottle and she would put her hand next to him and be like, nah, that's way too big. But then another guy would throw out a baby Snickers and she was like, man, that's way too small. And then he's like, hey, here's a ruler, it's a perfect 8.75 inches length, and like
Boom.
I
That's
don't know.
it.
She's like, man, God, that's perfect. It's not a two-hander, but
And he did it. He did it while in the restroom. Background was the shower, and she could see all his soaps.
and she
So she knew. Oh, this motherfucker has a bunch of soaps because he's clean.
She seen that his grout on his tile was clean too. She was like, man, this motherfucker knows how to clean some shit.
Like the fact that you pointed out the grout was clean, I'm questioning. Have you ever done this before? Like,
not me. When I was still dating, it cost you for every picture you sent. So I was cheap as shit. So I wasn't sending out pictures. You know, like you would have to pay for every text message.
When you were still dating, you had to put minutes on the phone.
Exactly. Like you didn't. There was no.
You weren't about to waste 15 minutes on one picture.
You know, there wasn't no unlimited plan. You had to buy minutes, and every text and every picture you sent took up 15, 20 minutes. So I was super cheap, and I wasn't.
You could press the button on the side of the phone. You could press the button on the side of the phone and be like, bloop, bloop, hey, did you get that?
Exactly. Like I was chirping people describing my wiener. Yeah, it's kind of brown.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's kind of brown. It's kind of that size. So, you know, I wouldn't.
It was super pixelated. Super pixelated.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. So I was better off taking a Polaroid than sending it in the mail, the actual mail. But then you'd have that whole thing of,
okay,
you know, if they open that envelope, they might think you're a terrorist. You know. So I didn't really try that too much either.
See, but at that point in time, now we're getting into some classy shit. Like, okay, if you're an artist, and a picture, if you paint it or you draw a picture of your wiener, then send it. 3 to 5 days later, depending on where you're located in the U.S., you could be getting a mural of a wiener.
That's true. That's true.
At that point in time, were you just classy? Like,
well, I don't know though. Like, because if you're into abstract art, right? So that's not necessarily a realistic view of the wiener. So you don't really know what you're looking at. Like, it's purple on the tip, but is it purple in real life? Because if it is, then there's an issue, right?
Right. So at that point in time, if the girl is like an artsy girl, she wants to see it. She's curious. She wants to go to that art gallery.
But the real question is, if she wants to see that wiener. If she sees the wiener and it is purple on the tip, what does she do?
She probably paints it herself, but in her own vision.
Instead of purple, now it's yellow, and it's a sunset.
Yeah, she's feeling very yellow this year.
Man, I couldn't imagine having to track my way through all the pictures of wieners and finding a good one. Because again, I don't think I
feel like it's so common though, because it sounds like a lot of the females that we know have received these pictures.
Well, do you remember we had a conversation outside of my house with a certain female about all the wiener pictures she was receiving? But she seemed like she was open to it, or maybe not necessarily open to it, but she wasn't offended by it, right? Like she was okay with receiving those pictures, but just because she expected it, I guess, is the way to explain it. But
was she using that as like an interview? Like, oh, here's
I think
another
so.
one.
That was the pre-measurement of who she could talk to, right? Like, and that's kind of understandable. All right, here's another question too. All right, so you can't send a soft pic, right? Like you can't just be like, I've been at work all day. Here's my soft wiener pic, right? Like there's some pre-work to sending these pictures, right? Like you can't. Like
there's some prep work. There's some fluffing. There's some fluffing in the industry.
There's
a little fluffing.
You've gotta fluff it up, right? You gotta work it up a little bit, but then you also don't want just a raging Cajun out there just ready to go like 2 seconds away from busting, because then she might be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's kind of crazy.
Right. So you can see the throbbing and there's something's wrong.
Right. I think something's actually spitting out on this one. It's kind of gross.
This is somebody I'm definitely not messing with.
Yeah. If he's like this for a picture, I couldn't imagine him being in real life. So you gotta.
If she gets them so frequently like that, though, I mean, what if she's doing her daily routine, like whether she's, shopping at the store, boom, bling, bling, there it is, wiener pic, and she's just like, oh, okay, yep, got another one. And okay, she's walking from one campus to the next, and she's like, bling, bling, oh, another wiener pic. I expected this one. Like,
That's true.
are they on a time?
You got to be careful with what you're opening out in public, because you can be driving down the street and there's a big truck next to you, and you open up a picture on your phone and they see a wiener, right? And then you got a 5-car pileup. All
exactly. And for all we know, Big Billy Bob in the 18-wheeler over there might be down for it too, and he might be trying to send you one too.
Or he might be trying to receive those pictures. He might be like, shit, send that to me. That's Bluetooth.
Like, let me show you how slippery it is on the ice road truckers, He's like, I can drive an 18-wheeler stick shift, no problem. Let me show you what else I can do. Hold my beer.
He's like, it gets real lonely up here in the cold weather, and we've got to deal with what we've got to deal with.
That one sounds correct.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because it gets cold in Montana, and I was there for about a year.
It's that much. Imagine every girl in the world or every woman, they all...
So let's say, what would you think? How many people are on the world?
I'll put this on my browser history, but I wonder if there's just some type of spreadsheet out there that already shows, like, the average woman that receives dick pics a day.
Yeah, I'll put that on my web history.
How do you ask that though? Like, how many dick pics do women get daily?
Well, actually, I just referenced how many dick pics a day on Google. All right, let's see. How many women have received dick pics? According to research, over half of millennial women have received dick pics a day. So, if you are 18 to 34 years old, women with a phone, chances are at some point in your life, you've been sent a naked photo of a dude. A new survey from YouGov on internet-based market research company found that 53% of millennial women have received dick pics. This is 53% of women. This is just a certain age range, right? This is just millennials. So anybody 30, I think it's like around 34ish below, have been sent to women. So we're talking, I don't know, there's a couple billion, right? There's probably a couple billion women.
That has to be a couple billion there.
So there's 7.3 billion people as of 2017. So there's more women than men. So you're probably thinking about 52%. So for every billion, there's half a billion. So probably about 3.5 billion women. And all right, so you're going age based, right? So you're talking at least a billion women have been sent dick pics throughout their life. Over a billion women have been sent wee pictures.
I think of myself, I mean, damn, that's really bad. Men shouldn't be doing that because that's a lot.
So I kind of figure that I'm a feminist, right? Like me obviously having a daughter has a lot to play into that. I don't want my daughter growing up having to dodge wiener pictures. Like, is she gonna have to create
in a world having to matrix wiener pictures?
Is she gonna have to create a whole folder for wiener pictures? Like, I'm not even gonna open this one, straight to the folder. Like, there's gonna be some reference words, right? Like, hey, how you doing? Like, if you open up like that, you obviously know, man, this dude's probably got some greasy pubes and he's sending them to me, right? So this is the conclusion, right? So us being non-single fellows, the message I personally would like to convey is I would just like to say there's never a good angle of a wiener. A wiener is a wiener is a wiener. It never looks good. Yep. Also, from a single person's standpoint, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, babies are being made. Couples are being made. So I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hey, continue what you're doing. I'm married. I have 2 kids. And I'm not going to tell you how you live your life. What would you like to say, sir?
First, make sure it's wanted. If it's wanted, if she asks you, hey, and and that's the way you fly, if you're comfortable with it, I think everybody should do their own thing. I can't. Who am I to judge? I ain't nobody. I think you should do whatever makes you happy as long as your other wants that. Now, if you're just out there popping randoms off on people's phones, stop that shit. That's gross. I agree with the first statement. A wiener is a wiener is a wiener.
But
They're all ugly.
Supposedly grown, supposedly grown, supposedly grown, supposedly grown.